some noise for Orange Juice and a Blunt.
Whoreson, the story of a ghetto pimp. Even though I tried to explain to her I was getting big stuff from my Ofe, it didn't sit right with her. I think what really dragged her was that Stella was white. Black girls just don't like to stable up with white girls, no matter how much money their pimp is getting from the Ofe. And the shoe fit the same way on the other foot. I'd started a bank account now, and I had over $5,000 put up for a rainy day. 3,000 of it had come from Stella in the last month. 2 days ago, I just got $2,000 from her, and when we met tonight, I was going to hit for some more. I stared out of the motel window. The weather was beautiful, but I didn't feel in the mood to ride down on any bitches. I had just heard on the news that Janet was back from abroad, and she had called her engagement off. That should have made me happy, but for some reason, I couldn't build up any sweat over it. Right now, Janet was in a different world from the one I lived in. I had enough problems with the 2 women I was living with to last 3 lifetimes without dragging Janet into the picture. Stella had given me an outright no-bullshit choice. Either I married her or no more money. I would have fired the bitch outright, but she had sweetened the pot with the promise of $20,000 cash on the day we were married. Perhaps to some men this wouldn't have been a problem. For me, it wasn't that simple. I was a pimp, inside and out, and marrying a bitch wasn't in my program. Stella had presented the opportunity, and I meant to take advantage of it. If the bitch didn't think I could play her out of that money, she was crazy. I didn't have it absolutely together, but I had a plan. The phone rang. I picked up the receiver and spoke for a few moments, then hung up. I smiled. It was coming together. The pieces were falling into place. I put 2 joints in my pocket and stepped outside. It was just dusk dark, not too hot or cold. I let the top down on my caddy and headed for the west side. I appreciated this big, expensive car as I drove across town. When I stopped at a red light, 4 teenage girls waiting for the bus flagged me down. The women standing at the bus stop stuck their noses in the air as the young girls ran over and climbed in my car. Those old bitches were just mad because I didn't pick them up. All the teenagers had on shorts, and I mean short shorts. The young girl who sat down in the front seat beside me had big, pretty brown thighs, and I stared at them in appreciation. "Hey, baby, this sure is a hip ride, ain't it?" one of the girls in the back yelled. I caught her reflection in the mirror, and she didn't look to be over 13. "You need a woman, honey?" she asked. I smiled at their frankness. "No, honey, you might be too old for me," I capped right back. She grinned. "If you was to get some of this hot stuff I got, I bet you wouldn't think that." I laughed out loud. "You probably got a point there." One of the girls in the front seat began to turn the knob until she found a soul music station. They all began to dance in their seats and pop their fingers to the music. When I got to 12th and Warren, both of the girls in the back seat got out. 4 blocks later, the one sitting by the door in front yelled out it was her stop. After letting her out, I turned to the one beside me. "How far do you go, honey?" I asked. "I go all the way over to Linwood if you're going that far," she replied. "I gotta make a stop first, baby, then I'll take you on home. That is, if you ain't in a big hurry." She looked up at me, out of some of the prettiest eyes. "What are you, a Mexican or something?" I laughed. "No, baby, I ain't no Mexican, but you can bet 'em something." When she laughed, it wasn't the laugh of a child. It was the sound of a young, healthy woman coming into her own. She hadn't bothered to move over to the vacant spot by the door either. She sat right up under me, as though she belonged to me. Her behavior led me to believe we might make one hell of an evening out of it yet. One way or another, it would amount to pure delight to lay out with this young devil, cute and tender. I pulled up in front of a pool room on Warren and stopped. One of the loafers in the doorway walked over to the car. Before he reached it, I got out and met him on the sidewalk. "Preacher baby, I see them white folks finally let you out." Preacher grinned. He was a short, fat, dark-skinned Negro with a deep, booming voice. "Yeah, baby, them honkers damn near got the nitty from the gritty before they let me out. Man, 5 years in that place without nothing but some fags to help you pass the time ain't my cup of tea." I took him by the arm and walked him away from the car and pool room. "Dig, baby," I said. "I got a thing on the fire, and if you help me take it off, I'll give you $1 grand. He stopped and looked at me closely. "You know I'm still on parole, Whoreson, so I can't stand no stick-ups, baby. But other than putting that candy stick in my hand, you got your man." "It ain't no stick-up," I said, and grinned. "And you ain't got to crack no heads." I studied him for a moment. "You know, I got to thinking about you, preacher, about how you used to carry that Bible around up there in the joint, and went to wondering if you brought it home with you." He smiled. "Man, when I got out, I gave it to the screw address out. I told that honky he should try reading it. He might find something in it to help him." "What about all that bullshit you used to talk up in the yard, preacher? What happened to all your plans on starting you a church and trimming all them sisters out of their money? You'd forgot about it already, huh?" He scratched his nose. "Oh, baby, I ain't forgot. I just ain't got no green to get started. I sent all the way to California to give me some bullshit license stating I'm an ordained preacher man, but it ain't doing me no good, Whoreson. I ain't got no money to get started with." 2 old women passed us. "Just look, man, all them sisters just waiting for me to trim 'em, and I can't get my goddamn church off the ground." "Well, dig this, preacher. I got good news for you." I put my arm around his shoulder. "How much will it take for us to rent a storefront, put a second-hand organ in it, and a few chairs so we could get by for a few days?" "What's this few days shit, Whoreson? If we set up, we might as well go for the long gallop." "That part of it is impossible, baby, and I want you to realize it," I said sharply. "I'm getting ready to play stuff on an old white bitch, and as soon as I take off the cash, she gon' run to the man. But you'll have at least 24 hours to get what you want out of the joint and get in the wind." We walked together until we came to a drugstore. "Wait a minute, preacher. I might as well run in here and cop some things I'm going to need." He followed me into the store. I walked around the counter and found some white envelopes. No one was watching except preacher, so I pulled 2 loose from the pack and put them in my inside pocket. We walked over to the stamp machine at the beer and wine counter, and I bought 2 stamps and put them on the envelopes. Preacher looked at the wine counter wistfully. "You want to kill a fifth with me?" I asked. "Do I want to get rich? Do I want to go to heaven? Ask me that, Whoreson. But don't ask me about a bottle of wine. You know goddamn well I want some sweet red." I bought 2 bottles, and we walked back towards the car. "Man, don't Don't tell me you gonna play on that young kid in your car, Whoreson. Don't look at me like that, preacher. All I'm doing is keeping my game tight. He snorted. Game tight, hell, man. All you want to do is joy to that young girl. That ain't cunt, man. That's still pee-hole. I looked at him in disgust.